Alright guys, so if you liked the video, if it helped you in any way at all, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to keep me updated with all our latest videos, hit the bell button. Ding!
Hey guys, this is NinaVida and I'm here with Lewis.
Hey guys, so you did well in your face-to-face interview. You received a conditional job offer, which you accepted. Congratulations. However, you don't have an official job yet. You still have to survive training.
So here we have a 2019 training survival guide. So first we're going to start off by answering some questions. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and do so. I usually do a lot of polls and I answer a lot of questions as well. So I'm going to answer some questions and then we're going to get a little more into training itself. So one question that someone asked was, how many days do you wear your uniform? Don't want to overpack on business clothes. So I think our training was about 6 weeks, 5.5 to 6 weeks, and we didn't start wearing our uniform until week, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah, around week 3 or 4. So aside from that, you obviously have to bring business clothes, business casual. I did a pack with me type of training video. I'll link it down below. But yeah, don't overpack for training because you will be wearing your uniform throughout training as well. And
usually they have laundry services, so. And everyone is pretty much in the same boat where they're washing and rewashing clothes, so you know you may wear the same outfit. That's okay.
So another question was, did you have to take a test every day, and how long were the tests? Do you want to answer this?
So it's not every day. At the very peak of it, you're going to take a test at most maybe 3 times a week. Normally it's around twice a week. You know, so in training, you have to cover a lot of material over a short period of time, which leads to a lot of late nights of cramming. But that's when you and your classmates stick together, you get into study groups, and you stay up all night. Don't get as much sleep as you want, but you get it done. And it's a grind. It's not easy.
Which leads me into the next question. Is training like super hard or definitely doable? Thanks, so nervous. So I wouldn't say training is easy. Everyone learns differently. So some people, they, will get the information and will be able to recite it super quick. Others take more time, which is fine, as long as you, study and try to learn as much as you can before the test. So yeah, I definitely would say training is doable as long as you study.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. And beyond the written test, there's also drills that you have to memorize. And with the drills, you go through them, you have to yell out commands word for word while acting out the physical part of the emergency procedure. So it's sort of 2 different things, and some people are better at the written tests, looking at information in a book and then being able to recall it on a test, and some people are better at more of like the physical aspect of doing the drills. So it definitely challenges different parts of the brain.
Another question was, do we need our own laptops? Thank you so much. I love your videos. Super helpful. I brought my own laptop. I brought my MacBook. But we don't have to. We didn't have to because they provided us with tablets where we did our homework, so to say. So for the training that we went through, we didn't have to bring laptops, but make sure you look through. You will be given some information before you attend training that says what you need and what you don't need. So if you need to bring a laptop, you will know. You might want to bring your own laptop just for your own enjoyment to watch Netflix after a long day. Another question, I'm going to combine these 2 questions, but the first one is, how much money do we need to save before training? And I get asked this a lot. So for our company, they suggested us to save at least $3,000 before training, and I did not have $3,000 saved before training. So you can definitely make it work if you don't have that many saved. It just depends on yourself. It depends how many bills you have, how many bills you need to pay when you're in training, because for the most part training isn't paid. There are some companies that do pay for your training, but if they do, it's not much. So it just depends. So I always tell people, save as much as you can. if you want to go out and splurge on a shopping spree before training, don't do it. Save your money.
Yeah, definitely have at least like $2,000. If you don't have $2,000, then this might not be the best financial advice, but open up a credit card and make sure you have a nice limit on it to start racking up charges. But I would say at least $2,000 is a good number.
And you want to think about, okay, you're not getting paid during training, and then you don't really get your first paycheck until, I don't know, a month after, like your first real paycheck. So you want to keep in mind, okay, you need to save during training, you need to save for money during training, but for after training as well, just to be prepared, because you also may have to move, and you also want to have a little bit of money saved just for anything that goes wrong. Someone asked, did you have to buy luggage when you get there, or is it issued to you? So on our, was it first day or first week, we went to the image team and we picked out our uniforms, and then we also, well, they told us what luggage we needed to pick out, and we do have to pay for it, but it comes out of your paycheck every like week or month, for us at least. So yes, we do have to pay for our uniforms and for our luggage, but it's not all at once. What bases do you suggest we choose?
So
New York.
Miami. So this all goes to personal preference. I mean, so there's different characteristics of a base. So a base may be bigger than another base, have different types of flying. You know, for example, one base might do a lot of Europe, whereas another base might not do any Europe or any international. And then also how senior the base is. So one base may have a lot of senior flight attendants, older flight attendants generally, and you might want to be at a base with there's more young people. That's another preference. And then I think that for some bases have different characteristics in terms of how, like, the types of flying they do, like how many legs they have, and things of that nature.
Too, maybe a little bit different. One base may work you more, one base may work you less, but you kind of don't know any of that information until you get on the line, until you start working. Also,
the size of the base in terms of, you know, like for example, like Miami base may have so many flight attendants that you're almost never going to fly with the same person ever again. Whereas a smaller base, maybe like if there was, for example, like a DC base or a Baltimore base where it's much more less people, so it's more like a family environment. It's a totally different feel. Yeah. So, you know, some people like the aspect of never flying with someone else again, but some people enjoy seeing familiar faces.
Also, it depends on if you decide to commute or not, which I would not commute at least your first few years of flying. But if that's not a choice and you have to commute, I would obviously try to choose a base that's easy to commute from. Like, for example, my training roommate, she has a house in Atlanta and she's based in Miami. So that's an easier commute than being based in, I don't know, New York or Philly. Another person asked, how many people did you start with in class and how many people did you graduate with? Good question. So with our training, we had 14 classes last year, and there was 150 for each class. And within those 150, we were split into 3 groups. So 3 groups of 50. So our group was 50, but our class was 150. And within our group of 50, I would say 49 graduated.
Yeah, I think that's right.
49. But the other one, she ended up just graduating a week later. So. Yeah.
So, you know, when you're at training, it all varies company to company, but for majority of the companies, they're very strict, and you have to act a certain way. And if you mess up, you could be sent home just like that. So in a way, it adds really more stress to the whole thing, because, you know, one mistake, maybe you go out, you drink too much, and you do something stupid. I mean, there's a good possibility you're going to be asked to go home. So it definitely adds to the stress of the entire environment and experience.
Yeah, so just, you know, do simple things. Just make sure you're on time. If you're that type of person who just can never, I don't know, was always late to work or something, just set 3-4 alarms if you have to. Also, you guys will have a roommate for the most part, but don't put that responsibility on your roommate.
No, I mean, I wouldn't. You know, you have to take care of yourself. But one thing to understand is with training, I think for almost every airline, they try to develop skills that a flight attendant would need. For example, a flight attendant always has to be on time, because if they're not, their office leaves without them that day.
Yeah.
So they really emphasize being on time and being early. I don't know if every airline does this, but a lot of airlines will have you start in class at different times. Just like a real flight attendant, you may fly out at 5 in the morning, or maybe you may fly out at 10 o'clock at night. So, you know, they try to like mimic the real life situation that a flight attendant would go through.
Yeah, so there's definitely times, there was weeks where we started at 5 a.m. There's weeks where we started at 6. There were weeks where we ended at like 7 or 8 p.m. There was classes that ended at 10 p.m. So it's just all over with the time schedule. It all depends. So you just kind of have to prepare yourself to be ready at whatever time.
And in a way, it's a good thing, because you better get used to it, because that's the way it's going to be out on the line. So.
Another person asked, did you guys train at the same time? Yes. We were in the same training class and in the same group of 50. I want to make a separate video about how we met and all of that. But yes, we met in training and we did train together, but we really didn't start like talking and stuff till like week 3, because we just, I don't know, feel like we had like different friend groups, but yeah.
That's another point.
Yeah.
Friend groups. So training is a lot like doing high school, but as an adult. So what I mean by that is it's different than college, I think, because college usually you're with so many people that, you know, it doesn't matter, but you're with these people for the, you know, every day, and so it gets very cliquey, I would say. There will almost always be drama.
Try to stay out of drama.
To
stay out of drama.
Keep your eye on the prize. Understand why you're there is to graduate and to get a job. So, but at the same time, you're going to meet some of your best friends for the rest of your life. That's no exaggeration. There's some weird combination of this, being in this type of environment and under this pressure, that it's almost like a traumatic experience, but in a positive way, where the relationships that you develop, they really are kind of like built to last for the most part. And I know there's people that I met there that I don't even see that much, but when I do see them or when I do talk to them, it's as if we never stopped talking. And that all happened, that was all created with only 6 weeks of training.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of fun, and you should socialize, but always keep your eye on the prize and make sure you get your work done and study and be prepared.
Another thing that I wanted to bring up was your instructors will show you tough love at times, and honestly, some of you might have never experienced tough love, but if an instructor is getting on you, may raise their voice at you guys, or just constantly on top of you about what you need to do, don't take that as them being disrespectful. They just really, really want to get the information across to you, want to make sure you pass those tests. So don't ever feel like, oh, this instructor is being rude or so-and-so. They just really care for you, and they want you to succeed.
Yeah. Don't be a baby. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're going to have some,
yeah,
like,
we're all
unruly...
adults here.
For real. And yeah, they might show you tough love, but, you know, get over it. That means you just have to be better, you know?
And if you can't handle an instructor, you can't handle these passengers, because they do not care.
For real. For real. And so in training, you really can't take a day off. You know,
that was a question too. It's
not like you can just call them up one day and be like, oh, I'm gonna stay in today, I'm not feeling well. So it's only a certain amount of time, right? Maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So every day and every hour, it contains valuable information. You can't just miss a day. And so...
Yeah, I actually got super sick the last week of training. We had a day where we had to do a lot of physical activity. I forgot what day that was, but we had to do a lot of physical activity, and I had a fever. I showed up to class with like a fever. I was so sick, but I was not gonna miss a day. I was not gonna get delayed from training. We were like a few days away from from graduating, and I was so sick, but I still went, and I survived to get my wings.
It takes an element of toughness. You have to be tough. So they used to say, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love that, because it's true.
Suck it up, buttercup. I'm super short, like under 5 feet. Am I still able to apply and be able to get through any drills in training? So I do get asked a lot about height-wise. I actually just flew with someone who's 5 foot the other day, and obviously she's a flight attendant. I just think that you have to be able to pass certain requirements. I may be wrong, don't quote me on it. I would still apply. I would still look through their requirements on the application. It might say a specific height. It might say you just need to do a specific test. So I would still apply and go through the process, because you never know.
Yeah, I don't think it's a specific like height. I think I 100% might be wrong here. So do not take my word for it at all. But I think if it's like, if you could reach the overhead bins, I think, I might be wrong. So, I mean, personally, my experience, I had the best time in training. Everyone kept saying, I can't wait till I go home. This is lame. I loved every second of training. I had so much fun. I worked hard and played hard. I met a really good group of friends, and we had a great time. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed training. I feel like you are going to meet so many different people. You may get along with some people, you may not, but guess what? You may work on the line with some people that you absolutely fall in love with, and you may work with people that you can't stand. So you have to be able to just deal with it and deal with all types of different personalities.
I would say that one of the things that training develops in you is also one of the most important qualities of a very good flight attendant, and that's the ability to be flexible. And they're going to test your flexibility. They're going to put you with people that you may not want to work with at a certain time of the day that you don't like, and doing something that you don't enjoy particularly. However, as a flight attendant, I mean, all of those may be true on any given day. So you have to roll with the punches. So
another topic that I wanted to touch a little bit on is roommates. So when you're in training, you like 99% will have a roommate. We had a few people in our class who didn't have a roommate, but for the most part, you will have a roommate. It will be the same gender as you. So for our class, we were lodging where we also went to class. Like, they just had a whole facility where they had rooms, and then they had, you know, the places where we learned and stuff like that. But for other groups, they actually had to stay at hotels, which honestly, yeah, hotels are way nicer. But for us, it was great because we didn't have to wake up that extra early time to take a shuttle to the location. Also with food, the people who stayed at the hotels, I feel like a lot of them had to like pay for their food, because if not, they had to go back on campus to get food and then go back. It was just a lot of back and forth with people who stayed at hotels versus us. We actually stayed on campus. Which brings, yes, we did get fed a lot. We got fed breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. So there was a lot of food. Some trainings may not offer all of that, but you could also bring food if you'd like, just like little snacks. And yeah, as we stated before, staying at a hotel may be nicer. I have a friend who they literally had happy hour for like 3 hours every day at this hotel.
The hotels are great if you want to do things you're not supposed to do, but if you want convenience, then you just stay. You should stay
it's
where the train. Well, it's not our decision, but
yeah, it's not our decision.
You know,
just remember what you're in training for. don't get caught up in BS. And
get caught up in a little bit of it because it's fun. But just keep passing your tests and your drills. Yeah.
Also, another thing is,
listen, like we said, the environment can be intense at times, and sometimes, you know, and I'm not speaking about us for real, but some people, you know, get into relationships and they get real serious, real deep, real quick, and you know, they start making plans of going to the same base together or living together. Take a deep breath, people. I mean, look.
To each its own, but when you go into training, it's not really real life in the sense of you're going somewhere where you're fed every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're getting your beds made every day. You don't have to like worry about certain things for those 6 weeks. So when you meet someone and you're with them all the time and you're just investing all your time into one person, you kind of forget about everything else. And if that does end, it sucks because you might look at it, might look back at training and be like, wow, all I remember with training is this girl or this boy, and you just want to not make training revolve around that. And I have a friend who, it sucks because she got into a situation because of a boy and she kind of let herself not enjoy training as much because of a certain situation, which honestly kind of sucks. So you may meet people, you may get great friends, you may lose some friends, because I sure did. You may fall in love, you may fall out of love. You're gonna feel all these emotions. You're missing your families back at home, you're missing your children, you're missing your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your dog. But you just have to stay focused and know that this is temporary, and at the end of this you're gonna earn your wings and you're gonna start an amazing career. Yeah.
That was good.
And a little bit more on roommates that we wanted to touch on.
So this is kind of obvious, but you know, you have to, if you're living with someone, you have to be mindful of the person, of things they may not like the volume of your TV or your phone conversations. Just be respectful, you know, like the golden rule. I mean, it's so cliche, treat others the way you want to be treated. But I mean, that's kind of like, it's really common sense. So
overall, make sure you save as much money as you can. Don't go on shopping sprees unless you got it like that. Save as much money as you can. Stay focused. Remind yourself what you're there for. You're there for this amazing career. What else? Work hard, play hard, have fun with your friends. And also have fun studying with your friends. You'll have your fun when you're on the line. No, you will, but have fun in training too. Don't get caught up in drama. Yeah, don't get caught up in drama. And some instructors are, obviously all instructors are different, but our instructors, they knew everything about everyone. So also, make sure you are in study groups. I know some people like to study alone, but also try to study in groups. I, for the most part, studied with the same, there's 4 of us, same 4 or 5 girls. Our instructors encouraged us not to do a huge group, maybe with 10 people, but just try different study tactics. If you're not learning one way, try another way. I would say, personally, for me, I can't study more than like 5 or 6 people. Yeah. It gets too crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If it was any sort of way helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure you turn on your post notifications. And hit the bell button. I'm not done. Make sure you turn on your post notifications, which is the little bell button, so you guys know when I upload. And as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace. And hopefully you guys can meet a beautiful significant other like I have in this wonderful gym right next to me. She just makes every day a little bit brighter. She's the light. Same. No. She's the wings on my plane, guiding me through the skies of life. I can't. I'm gonna put that.
No, you're not.